This time on Flipping Bangers.
I follow my heart.
Well, if you gift wrap it, I'll take it home now.
And I have my arm twisted. We do know there's a problem with the engine.
We find a jewel.
Finally, we might have bought ourselves a car that's not falling apart.
And quickly discover
The oil is letting itself out of the car.
That all that glitters.
is not gold.
We haven't actually earned any money.
I'm Gus Gregory.
And I'm Will Trickett.
Together, we're risking everything to follow a dream
It's something I've wanted to do for a long, long time.
We've packed in our day jobs
and invested our own hard-earned cash.
as we try to make a living in the cutthroat world of second-hand cars.
It's all in the chase. You've got to buy well, you've got to sell well.
Why would anybody buy this car?
We've got a goal.
We want to double our money. If we put 500 quid in, we need to see £1,000 back. We're targeting the very bottom of the market.
We buy cars that nobody else wants.
Can we keep our business afloat? Flipping Bangers?
It needs so much work doing to it.
1 year ago, we turned our backs on our regular jobs, rented this garage and attempted to carve out a new living by buying and selling cheap cars, and made enough money flipping bangers just to return.
People dream of giving everything up, but we're doing it for real. And it's scary.
We've emptied our pockets again, and this time we have enough to spend £500 to £1,000 on each car. If we want to cover our costs and pay ourselves wages, it's essential we double our return on every pound we put in. And we can only afford 5 workshop days per car. We've swapped a salary and a wage, possibly for nothing.
We need to keep the workshop busy, but at the bottom of the market, there are so many possibilities. Finding the right banger to flip has us stumped.
If you could have your absolute ideal, what would you buy next for us to do?
That's easy, but it's not going to earn us any money because I would like a Land Rover. And they're always too big, too broken, and too expensive to buy for the price that we want. We're never going to make any money with a Land Rover.
No. Well, that's a shame, isn't it? Because that saddles us with my preference, which is base model hatchbacks, which on the face of it doesn't sound brilliantly interesting, does it?
No.
But I mean, the further back you go, the more interesting they get.
Well, if we are going to do that then, can we steer clear, please, of all the sort of run-of-the-mill ones? Can we just get something a bit interesting?
They're all run-of-the-mill, that's the thing.
Yeah. They are, aren't they?
But I secretly have an agenda, and a car that I've got my eye on is far from run-of-the-mill. Ages ago, we bought something from a French car collector, and a car in his collection, which I've never forgotten, is a glorious Mark I Renault 5, and it's cheap too.
It's 1,600 quid.
What?
I know.
1,600 quid? We haven't got 1,600 quid. This is going to be a very expensive, let's just have a look at a car that we can't afford at all.
But it is a very, very charming car.
Charming as it may be, it's a Renault from 1974.
74. Yep.
I mean, it might be a complete rot box.
The owner of the car has said the Renault has a historic issue with overheating, which seems to be a common problem with many of the clonkers we buy. But it's so pretty, I don't care. The owner is not around, but his wife is.
Lisa, I'm
hi.
Gus. So pleased to meet you.
Hello.
Morning, I'm Will.
Hello, Will. How are you?
So we've come to have a poke around your beautiful little Renault 5.
Excellent.
I know you shouldn't say this, but it's got something about it, and it's got "Take Me Home" written all over it from me.
Great.
Can you tell us anything about it?
I can tell you that's a very pretty blue, but apart from that, not an awful lot else, I'm afraid.
How long have you had the car then?
We've had it for a year now. We've just bought a new car and we need to make a bit of space.
Oh, okay. He knows you're selling it, does he?
He does now.
Can we go and have a look around?
Of course you can. Here's the keys. There
Thank you
go.
very much.
If you can get it going, you can have a little drive.
Oh, brilliant. Okay. Oh, that's fabulous.
Yeah, it is.
Thanks
Brilliant.
very much.
See you in a
Cheers.
minute.
Thank you.
Gus is all over the car straight away.
Lisa's right. It's a beautiful colour blue, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a nice colour.
Would you call this Earth de Canard bleu?
Oui.
Do you know what I really love about this is that this is the original Bouet design. And did you know that he designed this in his free time, and when they saw the design, they put it into production straight away.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, wow. Spare wheel.
That should go under the bonnet. It's got a really beautiful little indentation under the bonnet.
You're quite enthusiastic about this little car, aren't you? Wow, now that is amazing. I wasn't expecting that. Okay, thumbs up. Actually, it's quite nice, but it looks like somebody's had a bonfire in the dashboard.
It's a Gulwars related incident, isn't it?
It is, yeah, definitely.
Well, I love this. I love this pleated dash in the original cars. And I love this door card, which seems to be made of the same material as your weekend trousers.
But at least with my weekend attire, I have some level of continuity. This car does not. That doesn't match that, which doesn't match that. And look at the state of that.
That does look like it's just nicotine brown, doesn't
It does, yeah. Let's fire this little bad boy out. That's not bad.
No, it sounds great.
Well, it sounds okay.
It does sound nice, doesn't it? I love this little indentation here where the spare wheel goes. And look, it's got an alternator because it's a TL.
Oh, very posh. And we don't have to dig too deep to spot evidence of cooling issues. You can see, looking here, it's had a bit of overheating sort of problem going on and all of that as well.
Yeah.
So, slight worry.
It looks like it's had a new head. In actual fact, the water pump looks relatively new.
Everything else down there looks surprisingly good. Should we take it for a little spin?
I think you should drive it. You're the one who's
Really?
not too fussed about it. It might win you over.
Well, we'll see, eh?
Yeah. This is the perfect French driving experience. Whether DS or traction Avant, this is a Renault 5. It's perfect.
Okay, it is a French driving experience, but this seat is so uncomfortable. And the interior, well, is making me almost vomit.
These are just little tiny niggling things. Okay, I tell you what, I'm going to find a Mark 1 Renault 5, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Mark 1 Renault 5 for sale. Let's see what we can find. Okay, it's a quick search, I'll give you that, but there's not one Mark 1 Renault 5 for sale in the country, online.
Yeah, okay. I get it. Well, perhaps nobody wants one.
But I do. The Renault even fails to overheat, so that seals it. Even noting Will's pointless resistance, I decide we'll buy the 5, but the price has got to work. Otherwise, will kill the project with a king-size grump.
How'd you get on?
Well, if you gift wrap it, I'll take it now.
Excellent.
Hold on, whoa, because I think you want more money than we have actually got.
Well, it's not me, it's my husband. He wants 1,600 for it.
Right, brilliant.
Make me an offer?
£1,000?
Done.
Deal.
Brilliant,
Excellent.
thank you very much.
Looks like you're going to have to gift wrap it yourself, Gus.
Perfect.
Nice one. I really didn't think that Lisa would drop 600 quid from the asking price. It looks like I've just bought us a car. That was not the car that I thought we were going to go out and buy. But, you know, for the price, it's all right.
Definitely. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to look for another one because I was only looking for Mark 1s before, but I'm intrigued to find out a proper price. Here, look, this one. There's a 90s Renault 5 here, so that'll be a Super 5.
Yeah.
3,500.
And we've got the Mark 1.
Yeah, yeah.
So we are definitely heading in the right direction here.
We might just have made the smartest move of our motoring careers.
Back at the workshop, we dispense with excitement, projections and raw emotions and deal only in cold, hard facts. What on earth can we do with this car in 5 days to make it worth £3,000?
It's funny with these little cars, isn't it? I mean, some people love big V8 muscle cars, don't they? Or sort of high-tech Japanese pocket rockets. But for me, these absolute base-level, working-class people's transport, they just do it for me. I don't know why, I don't know where it comes from, but I love them.
Well, it's a great little car, isn't it? When these came out, it was just a functional little car. But as they've got older and rarer, you can really see them for what they are. And these little cars really help move the market on a lot.
Yeah, it did. And we've got a very good one here. I mean, clearly we've got to do something with that interior, and it might be very difficult to find an interior for it. But that's got to come out, hasn't it?
But there is that toughie as well. You remember we were told it was overheating. I know we haven't experienced it ourselves yet, but we do know there's a problem with the engine.
Yeah, but you'd think that would be simple, wouldn't you?
But as I snap away for the sales ad, I know that nothing's that simple. Just saying it out loud has probably jinxed the whole car. Still, we'll know a little bit more once we get a good look underneath. But there is some admin to take care of first. I've been given the task of setting up the online auction for our little Renault 5, which is not my favourite thing in the world. I'm not that keen on computers and I definitely hate writing things down. But it is a very nice car and I've got all of the photographs in there now and the advert's looking good. So, starting price, I thought 500 quid. Here's the good bit. Because this is a nice car and it's going to be an even better car by the time we've finished it, our buy it now price is quite high, but I think we should be able to achieve this. 3,495 quid. Reserve 2,500 quid. Let's see how we get on with that.
Wow.
It's so clean, isn't it?
It's really good. It's obviously lived in a very nice, warm, dry part of France. I don't think I've ever seen a Renault that doesn't need any welding.
You think all the little thin stressing bits like these are really good, aren't they? Whereas you think they would be rusted through.
Yeah, it's as clean as a whistle.
Amazing.
Look, all of this lot. I bet all these nuts and bolts undo easily. Not that we want to touch them.
No, quite.
Well, it seems like finally we might have bought ourselves a car that's not falling apart with rust, huh?
That's a total celebration for me because I am sick and tired of welding cars back together.
But that doesn't mean we've got nothing to do.
So it's overheating. We're not going to fix that from down here, are we?
No, we're not. Let's go and have a look.
So we've got only one job, but the suspected overheating is a massive headache.
It's a strange thing, isn't it? That telling us that this overheats. I mean, obviously it didn't overheat, did it, when we drove it?
Not at all, no.
But you can't ignore the fact we've been told that it overheats, even if it didn't overheat when we were driving it. You can't ignore it once you've been told it, can you?
Yeah, well, we're going to have a good old visual inspection, take bits off and check they're not blocked.
I think we should take the radiator out and flush it through, all the things that you normally do when
Good
something's
start.
overheating.
We can check the fan, make sure that's working, check the thermostat, make sure that's working, check this thermostat.
You know what? Should we take the bonnet off?
There is a feeling of doubt creeping in that we're checking the same items anybody else would. Is the Renault hiding a secret? Well, we'll see. The first check is to bypass the thermostat and see if the fan works, which I do with a little hot wiring.
And the fan's working. Hey! Sort of, because now we've got to find another reason why our car is overheating.
Will drains the coolant in his usual tidy way, so we can take a look at the pipework. There's nothing out of the ordinary, there's just lots of fluid.
We've decided to do a compression test on this car because with the type of cooling system it's got, if the head gasket is blown, then it will be blowing straight into the water jacket. And if you end up with that blowing into the water jacket, it compresses the cooling system for the car, which will chuck the water out because it can't take the pressure, basically. So if we test the head gasket, then we'll know if we've potentially got that as a problem. Right, you give it a little spin over, Gus. That's all right. Joe, this is pretty amazing. Because what would you expect the PSI to be on this?
I don't know, 150 or something?
150-ish. It's gone up to 184 PSI.
Blimey, it must be in really good nick, that engine.
That's top compression. Let's try it in number 2.
Will plays the boffin, but I do the real hard stuff.
If you're doing a compression test, then you do need someone to sit in the car because A, they have to do the very, very, very technical piece of turning the key, which turns the engine over. But also, you've got to keep your foot flat on the accelerator because it lets more air into the combustion chamber and therefore gives you a correct reading. Ready?
Yeah. That's all right. Same again, 184 PSI. Okay, it's 188. Right, so that's number 3. Okay. All right, same again. In the end, the good but unsettling news is that none of the cylinders fail the compression test. If the cylinders and the pistons and the valves are okay, what is wrong with the car?
So now I'm flushing any debris from the radiator. That looks okay. The next item to check is the water pump. One way of doing this is to unhose it and start the engine, but never point it at yourself.
Yeah, there's only about 40 gallons all over the floor. We've done really well. So this is the thermostatic switch. Now there's a simple test we can do on this. If I plug it into the system and then bring it up to temperature in, thank you very much, Gus, the kettle.
Right,
With the
ignition's on.
Cool. Now that, when it gets warm enough, should make contact and switch on that fan. There we are. So there you go. That just proves that switch is okay. We're running out of problem areas.
We've got no option but to head to the pub. We've been told about an issue that we can't see, and if we can't see it, we can't fix it.
It's day 2 on our £1,000 Renault 5 project. Calling it a banger isn't really fair. It's better than that. But it does have an invisible overheating fault that we have no idea how to cure. Stubborn old Gus thinks we don't need to.
Hiya.
Morning, Gus. You're early.
Well, I just wanted to get this run up, and I've been here an hour, and that's
Yeah.
been sat there for an hour, running up to temperature, fan coming on, temperature going down.
Okay.
I don't know, I just don't think it's overheating. Shall we get it back in?
Well, we could do,
It's a
yeah.
pretty conclusive test, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but we want top dollar for this car. And, you know, in my mind, I've got to know that it's just right.
Yeah.
I read online about paper liner seals in our Renault engine. And if they fail, you get overheating and an engine rebuild. A part of me thinks that a new engine for the Renault, that's around 300 quid, is one way to be completely sure of a problem-free car. Cars like our little Renault are incredibly rare, and it's even more difficult to find people who know about them or even have any parts for them. Now, I found out about this guy called Derek, who apparently is a guru in the subject. I'm definitely at Derek's place. So, as you know, we've got problems with our little Renault 5, and we were thinking, why don't we just turf the engine out of it and just get a decent replacement engine and chuck it straight in there?
Well, they're like hen's teeth. You know, there's not many of them left at all now. So the Mark II Renault 5, which is a lot of them around, they got a different engine. It's transversely mounted. So there's so many differences on it, it's not worth doing.
Well, funnily enough, I've actually got a little picture of the car here.
Oh,
there
right.
we go.
Oh, I know this. I did some work on that a few years ago.
Really?
Yeah, I actually rebuilt the engine on that.
That's
So,
good news.
Yeah, so the engine should be fine.
Where would you recommend we start looking for problems with an engine of this nature?
Well, if it's overheating, you've obviously checked the basics.
Yes, we
So
have.
it's unlikely to be the liner seals because they normally cause emulsification of oil rather than overheating. So have you tried a leak detection fluid?
No, we haven't actually.
Okay, right. So you can get this special fluid that changes colour if you've got combustion gases leaking into the cooling system.
Okay then, so if we do that, we might be able to eliminate the head gaskets.
But it did have a problem. The heater was leaking quite badly and we couldn't get one at the time. And the customer asked me to bypass the heater because it was just losing too much coolant.
Okay, well, it's got a heater matrix in it now.
Right, well, that's obviously been fitted since.
Okay then.
Yeah, well, the same engine is in a Renault 4, so we've got one next door you can have a look at.
Where is it? This way?
Yeah. Okay, well, if you have a look at this one, so what you need to look out for, it's the same engine, but the difference is on the Renault 5, the heater is up there. It's the highest point of the system.
Ah.
On the Renault 4, it's inside the car. So if you've got an airlock, it's going to be in the heater. So if someone's changed that heater and they haven't bled it out properly, that's the first place I'd look.
Suddenly, we're making progress. Will calls me and gives me the news that unless the engine fails and new test he's got lined up, we may have an airlock issue. So I check over the plugs, points, leads and rotor arm, as I figure it'll have to be done at some point. It's really baffling me. Everything on the engine is as it should be. Even the air filter is fine.
Hello.
Hello, Gus. All right, mate?
What you got?
I've got what's called a bubble tester. Ooh. Just been seeing a nice guy called Derek. He's given me lots of tips and advised that we carry out this test. This 20 quid test is like the compression test we've already done, but works in a different way. Where the compression test suggests problems with loss of compression, the bubble test actually demonstrates the presence of carbon monoxide where it shouldn't be, in the cooling system. Will the engine pass muster? And the fascinating answer is no. Green.
Yeah, well, that is definitive, isn't it? We have a problem with our head.
I knew we did. I don't like to say I told you so, but I did. I was worried about it.
Okay. Off with its head?
At last, proof that our issue lies in the head itself. Most likely a small crack. Otherwise, it would have come up sooner. Oh. So at least we're getting there. Except we're not really getting there, because the head removal isn't a small thing. We have to strip away the battery and various engine ancillaries, and the belts, carburettor, pipework and brackets. In other words, everything, and only then are rewarded by a peep at the valves.
Well, it's nice to see that that's clean, isn't it? And that there's no water in the oil.
Yeah, it gives me a small amount of confidence, but we're still looking at finding a problem somewhere.
Yeah, well, I guess there will be, won't there?
Yeah.
Let's get it off, shall we? I'll do the ones opposite you.
Right.
And now we get to the rocker shaft. We've got to store the push rods in order. They can't be left on the workshop floor to collect dust. Then the head is off, and that'll go to our engineering company to be tested for leaks and skimmed flat. And now we can pump out the bores. So we seem to be at a point. We'll wait to get the head checked, and maybe the mystery will be over.
How does that look?
Well, nothing untoward really. I've given it a good clean up. The where the gasket seats for the head, that all looks very good and very clean on all 4 cylinders.
Yeah, it does.
The liners seem to be in nice condition. I can't find any problems with those. So I think really, if we've got a problem, it's going to be in the head.
Yeah, it was very difficult to tell, but they've got it and they'll pressure test it, so we'll know.
Yeah.
So.
I'm just going to change the oil, and we'll put the cooling issues to bed.
Whoa. So, that's fantastic. So just come down here to let the oil out of the car, but it seems that the oil is letting itself out of the car, and that was not happening earlier because we would have seen it on the drive. This is clearly coming between the gearbox and the engine, so it's clearly a seal that's blown somewhere. This is going to be massively time-consuming for us because now, obviously, we're going to have to take the engine out, and we don't even know if we can get the bits. Will, come and have a look at this.
What's that?
It's just genius. It's pouring out. I mean, that must be when we ran it up earlier.
Well, yeah, there's tons of it.
I don't want to start doing that now. I really don't want to start doing that now.
We've got 3 days left.
3 days, and we don't even know if the head's good. This was a perfectly good engine this morning.
What are we going to do? It's the end of the second day, and it feels like the Renault is determined not to play ball.
We have a business buying cars that no one else wants. And although our Renault 5 looked pretty special when we first bought it, if anyone could see the trouble it's been dishing out, they'd give it a miss. We've just discovered that the oil leak in the middle of the engine means the whole thing has to come out. It's not the news we're looking for. At least we've done so much stripping already, it should only take a few hours rather than a couple of days. These wheels need a proper going over, but we just don't have time to get to it now. Our job of the moment is lots of banging. Not you, sorry Will. and we remove the drive shafts on both sides.
I hope Gus is feeling happy because all of this effort, well, let's not waste words, it's his fault.
Late afternoon and we're ready for the final push, or pull.
Right, one very technical bit of lifting equipment.
I think it should be a double bowline Turk's head. I'm just saying.
That's exactly what it's going to be. We've got to get the rope in the right place because if we don't, it won't come out. At least, that's what applied astrophysics tells us.
Can you see that?
No, I can't. Up a little bit more.
Hang on, I want to go the other side of the gear lever. There you
Yeah,
go.
that's the kiddie.
Got it?
Yeah.
We should have a bet on the balance point.
I think it is exactly where we reckon it's going to be.
In the middle.
Bang on in the middle, yeah. Yeah.
Will thinks he's the rope master, but does his Boy Scout training count for anything in our workshop? We take up the tension, release the engine mounts, and here she goes.
Look at that. The 850 lump is out. Success.
Put space on the bench for it.
Yeah.
Hey!
Oh, doesn't it look diddy?
Looks great, doesn't it?
Yeah.
While Will gets busy prepping the engine, which has to be split in half to trace the oil seal, I'll take the worst of the rust off the wheel rims. I think the wheels are too far gone to paint here, sadly. I'll send them to our pal round the corner. And a couple of hours later, Will is back with a head that's been skimmed and pressure tested.
Hey.
Gus, look at that. One complete top-end gasket set.
Ooh, lovely.
And let's go on top of that lot. Look at this.
Ah.
Doesn't that look great?
I was worried, you know. I didn't think this would be coming back.
Well, it has, and it looks utterly beautiful and ready to go straight on.
Well, it's perfect timing because it would be really great to get that on, clamp the liners down before we split it and try and find that oil seal.
The guys have found evidence of tiny cracks on our head that they've managed to remove by skimming. That's fine for us. Potentially, we've just fixed our engine for £35. The rebuild process is the next step. Carefully setting and torquing the head down. The workshop manual is the Bible for all torque settings.
Ooh, thank you very much.
There you go.
Well, that's done. But
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, so I can crack on with that bit then.
yeah, you're going to do that. We haven't got much time, have we? We've got to get this engine back in, haven't we?
Still a ton of work to do. Now I have the job of separating the engine and gearbox. With it on the bench, it's all DIY feasible. Honestly, if you can get this far, you can do that too. So we're pretty certain it's the rear crank oil seal which has gone. Now it happens to be buried right in the middle of everything. I've already removed the gearbox, so I've got to remove the clutch and the flywheel, and then I've got good access to get to it and replace it. The assembly unbolts just like any other car. I've just got to keep on stripping back until I get to the bits I need. Gus is cleaning up the engine bay, which is a small job, but always worth a go. And finally, I gain access to the oil seal, a common issue on this engine. Oh, there we go. It is definitely the rear crank oil seal. The oil's coming out there. Now, this is good news because that is a simple fix. Get a new one, put it in there. It's just taken a long time to get to this stage.
You found it?
I have, yes, as we thought it was going to be, rear crank oil seal.
It's simple, isn't it? But what it's done is it means we've got to put this back together, we've got to put this back in the car. It's taken us 3 days, and all it's really done is meant that we've taken our eye off the ball with the rest of the car, because we haven't actually earned any money yet with this car. We put all this back together and put that back in.
Yeah.
It's still worth the same money, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So day 3 is done, and we take an emergency visit to the pub to help square our lack of visible progress. It's day 4 on our Renault project. The car owes us just over £1,000. But the issue is, we've neglected the aesthetic aspect of the car while being consumed by the mechanicals. Some mysterious black tape is next on the agenda.
We definitely need to have a conversation about this tape, don't we?
Yeah, we do. It's got to come off.
No, wait. How do you know that's not put on there in 1974 at the Renault factory?
Because it's insulation tape.
Well, you don't know that. You've not done a spectrometer reading of it, have you? You don't know that isn't original tape.
I don't, but I bet you $1 to a donut it is.
Shall we have a little controlled...
A little control one, just a little quick peel back,
yeah,
shall we?
tiny bit. Oh, and you've taken the lot off, haven't you?
I have, yes, because I hate it, and it's insulation tape.
Now we've got to fix these.
Yeah, that is a problem, isn't it?
I mean, there is a rationale that says we shouldn't molest this car any further, that we should maybe try and find what was clearly been put on here, which is the rubbing strip, isn't it?
Yeah, but in the time that we've got available, we're never going to find the rubbing strips and get them on there. It's just never going to work.
But now, looking at this, A, it's not original paint, is it?
No.
And B, it needs quite a lot of work doing to it, doesn't it?
Yeah. And for what we want for this car, I reckon it's worth the time and the effort.
I think you might be right in actual fact. Do you want to take the rest of this tape off and I'll go and see if I can find a match for the paint?
I certainly do. Well, I'm going to love taking this tape off.
So that's where we're at. As he loves to, Will picks at the scabs and gives us paintwork to do. And we strip the interior out to gain access to the back of the holes we need to fix. And there's another reason too. We've been given another set of seats with the car, but they aren't in great nick, so we'll be hunting for new ones. We've decided not to weld the holes in the body. There's a better way to go for us. The fiberglass paste is okay for the backs of the holes, but the fronts will need to be filled with the usual 2-pack filler.
Got quite a big dent here, all the way around here, look. Now, I'm going to try and remove this dent a little bit. I'm not aiming for perfection. And I've also not used one of these tools before, which is quite good. It's one of those tools that you can put on the inside and then lever the dent out. So I'm going to give it a bash and see how I get on. I got this tool for 15 quid online. It's quite cool. You do need a soft hammer to counteract the larger dent I've made in the other side, but I don't really do soft hammers. So it's trial and error. But once satisfied with my panel beating, I rub it down for a rattle can paint job. Using an orbital sander, I go over the panels that will paint. Before that, I mix and dab on a thin layer of filler.
While Will inhales various toxic fumes, I'm taking a little time out for a really scary job.
There's no way that we're going to put those second-rate seats back in our Renault 5. Because if we finish our Renault on time, it's going to be a very, very special car for us. And if I can't find them in the UK, which I can't, I'm going to have to look on French sites. The major problem with that is that I don't actually speak French. My French is atrocious. But I'm going to take the plunge, or le plonge, as I think they say in France.
There are a couple of French websites I've found. One is an auction site that's popular in the UK. Another deals with cars, houses, chairs, and well, pretty much anything really. It's there I find an interior for a Mark I Renault 5. It's exactly what we need. The only issue is how to communicate with the seller. That's the hard bit.
Bonjour, comment allez-vous? Monsieur, s'il vous plaît, je voudrais une search pour le Renault 5.
I use the word that's close to the French translation for monkey. That does get things off to a shaky start.
J'avais le derrière. Pardon? Oui.
Then I throw in another language completely.
Solamente no es español. Parlez-vous anglais, monsieur?
But it's only when the seller puts his 11-year-old daughter on the line, who speaks a few words of English, that we start making progress.
Combien pour le deux?
I may have called her sir, but under the circumstances, think that's okay. They even promised to send the seats overnight as part of the £200 cost.
Okay. Merci, merci. Au revoir. Success.
Your oil seal is here.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm a bit covered in paint and filler, though.
OK, well, I'll put it back on, shall I?
Oh, that'd be magic. Cheers, Gus.
I pull off the old seal, replace it, and then reattach the clutch and flywheel. I'm putting the clutch back in the engine. And normally, if I'd been bothered to go this far, take the flywheel out, I'd put a new clutch in it. But you can see on this clutch, it's still got the marks here where they've faced it at the factory. It's had no wear at all, this clutch. So actually, it makes no sense changing it. So we're saving money, about £50, and have the pleasure of seeing that the Renault, apart from its cracked head, is in fine shape.
It's time to strip out the lights, the vents, give a final rub down, finish the engine, and find out if our Renault 5 is actually going to make us some money.
I think we've got a real opportunity with this Renault. It's such a good car. If we get the mechanics right and the body works straight, I think we've got the opportunity to make some real money out of it. There's bids coming in, but it's up to £600. So it looks like we might have to manage our expectations on this car, which is sort of criminal. But, well, I mean, there's still time, so we'll see.
It's getting to that time when we kneel before the altar of the rattle can.
But the engine can go back in first, so it feels like we've actually made a little progress.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Right, OK, I'm ready for a bit of down.
Gently, gently.
Gently, gently, yeah.
Slowly catch your monkey.
Right, whoa. A little bit more.
Yeah.
Great. Can we push in a smidge?
That's as far forward as it'll go now, isn't it?
Right, OK, so we've just got to tease it by that.
That's it. That's
There you go, down a bit.
With a little jiggery pokery, she's sitting pretty. The engine, not Will.
That's it, we're on. And we mask up the Renault, ready for some duck egg blue. First we go over with some rust preventative, then primer. The specialist primer is meant to even out the surface, but we don't have enough time to do enough coats. But after a quick sand down, here comes the blue. We should spend a couple of days for a tip-top finish, but that's asking too much of our schedule.
I'm done. You're done. Oh, obviously.
I am, yeah.
It's good, huh?
Yeah, let's get out of it.
Yeah.
No pub tonight, as we're already full of toxins, but at least we'll get a good night's sleep. Day 5, £1,250 in. Can we finish a minor restoration in one day? At least the seats from France have arrived.
Last day.
I know, but that's the problem. It's the last day, and this is very unfinished.
We've got a lot to do.
We have, yeah.
OK, come on.
No time to waste.
It's time to see whether our budget paint job is going to set off the car.
Perfect colour, Matt.
And it does.
So now we catch up by putting all of its bits back on. Not to mention the last few mechanical items to connect the wheels to the engine. Tighten up the suspension.
And get the cooling system back in place. Top up the coolant, remembering to bleed the heater matrix at the top of the engine. Slightly full of French bread and cheese, we have the usual race of getting the car back together. So having these wheels powder coated was a massive luxury for us. It's not something we normally do, but A, we didn't have time to do them ourselves, and B, they were in a terrible state. Every second we throw ourselves into it. Just a detail, the Renault still needs an interior that's lined up and ready to go in. And at the end of the day, right at the end,
The job is done.
so this is our Renault 5. We only paid £1,000 for her, but we didn't hold back on our spend to make her perfect. Actually, that's not true. We stripped the engine and overhauled the cooling system for just £35, and that was for skimming the head. The seats were £200 and the finishing on the wheels just £250. Add in some cash for consumables that includes our baguette and cheese, and the 5 owes us £1,485.
So Gus, look, our little Renault 5. You have been the champion of this little car all along, and I'd just like to know what you think of it now.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It is really gorgeous.
And it's been teasing us along, isn't it? It was, oh, this is wrong with me. Oh, no, this is wrong with me.
We have ended up with something which now looks, in my mind, utterly incredible.
I actually genuinely think the best thing that's happened to this car is us having it. We've had such a great time with the Renault. We invest in a cheap day crossing on a ferry to indulge it and us with a little trip on home soil.
So why are we here then?
Because it's perfect. I wanted to take some pictures of the car in its natural habitat, and this is very French, isn't it? And you never know, we might sell the car here.
I haven't really noticed an awful lot of passing trade.
Yeah.
I have noticed that they're selling chips,
Ah!
and I'm off to get some.
Okay.
As Will stuffs himself, I snap away, and then the Renault is ready to drive. It's magnifique.
It's funny, isn't it, these cars? It looks so retro now when you look at it outside. But it's difficult to remember that when this was new, this was a cutting edge of car technology. This was the really cool car on the block. And Renault was a publicly owned company, so this would have been a great hope. And people would be standing on the streets here going, Allez, le nouveau Renault 5! Très bien, allez, allez! They would have been waving flags.
Yes, and they would also be saying, but I have my 2CV, I might as well just hold on to that.
It still holds up today, because on these roads, even the two of us rolling along, we could do this all day, couldn't we? It's lovely.
Yeah, it's a great little car. The thing that's making me feel really positive is the engine's not overheating.
Good point.
And it hasn't blown up.
Maybe.
Boom.
If we don't get our money for this car, I will be sad.
What are you trying to tell me there?
Well, the auction's finished. It didn't meet its reserve. We got 1,940 quid bid for it,
Yeah.
which, although on one hand that's a lot of money, it's not enough, is it? It's not enough for us. We do need more. I think we should just suck it up and relist it.
Yeah, £2 first time round, never know. Next listing, we could get 3.
3 would be très bon, huh?
Uh-huh.
So with an intoxicating whiff of Frenchness and a big dose of love for the Renault 5, we head back to relist and wait and see whether our patience is to be rewarded. A week or so later, our new ad yields results.
Hello, Al.
Ah,
All right, then.
hi, nice to meet you.
Good day to you.
Hello,
How are you?
Gus, pleased to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Brilliant. So you've had a chance to have a good look around the car. What do you reckon to it?
Yeah, it's great.
It's what you thought it might be?
It's exactly what we're after.
You're not buying this for yourself, are you?
No, no, no. I look at cars for a dealer
Okay.
who speculates on cars of this age, and we see if we can make some money on it.
So you're in a position to make an offer?
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah. What sort of money are you after?
We were wondering what you might be thinking, actually. It's very difficult to sort of be the first one in, I know.
I'll give you 2,000.
That's not really enough. I mean, of course, we're both in business to make money here, aren't we? So we have had to think about it, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. And really, 2,600 is the lowest we could go and still make a margin for ourselves, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Okay. I'll go for that.
Yeah.
2,600.
Brilliant. Oh, that's fantastic.
That's sort of sad to see it
Lovely.
go, to be fair.
Well, it is, but I hope you have as much success with this car as we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Brilliant.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks for that.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We've made over £1,000. Not quite the magic double, but a magic result all the same.